Hello everyone, thank you for all being here. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes until everyone's online and we'll start the session. Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. We're all very happy to have you join us as we dive into one of the most critical topics in the financial sector, core banking transformation. I'm Elias and today I'll be guiding you through this session alongside our esteemed speakers, Cyril Fransaoui, Head of Pre-Sales at CBS, and Georges Raoui, Regional Sales Director of the Middle East region. Together, we'll explore the key drivers behind core banking modernization, the challenges financial institutions face, and the best practices that can ensure a smooth transition. If you have any questions during the session, you can write them in the chat box right down below, and we'll answer everything at the end of the session. So for the first topic that we're going to discuss, I'm going to ask Cyril a question. So Cyril, what are the major challenges that banks face with their core banking systems?
Okay, hello everyone, first of all, and thank you for taking the time to attend this webinar. It's quite interesting, in fact, to gather and discuss such an important topic. Elias, thank you for your introduction. To introduce myself, my name is Cyril Fransaoui, Head of Pre-Sales at Capital Banking Solutions. Capital Banking Solutions is one of the leaders among banking solutions vendors since 1997 and serving more than 200 banks and financial institutions all around the world in more than 60 countries by proposing a full banking platform, including a modern core banking system and several satellite products. So in today's fast evolving financial landscape, the banks and the financial institutions face increasing pressure to modernize their legacy core systems. Customer expectations are higher, regulatory requirements and demands are growing, and digital innovation is no longer an option, it's becoming a necessity. So discussing the major challenges that banks are facing with their core banking systems is key for understanding why do we need to modernize the core banking system and the related infrastructure. In fact, according to a recent report by Gartner, it shows that dynamic market events are increasing the need for financial agility to keep up with emerging trends and demands. But we have several obstacles and several challenges which are delaying this transformation. So let's take it from there and let's highlight and talk about the main and important challenges. First of all, we have the outdated and rigid technology infrastructures Many banks, in fact, are still relying on legacy core systems that lack flexibility and are difficult to integrate with third-party solutions. They also lack of modular design and API support, making the integration work and process very challenging for them. And these systems fail to support modern customer expectations, which will result in a slow adaptation to market dynamics. Also, we notice a dominance of traditional core banking systems. In fact, around 80% of banks and financial institutions are still operating on traditional core banking systems, which lack of scalability and which is think that it is slowing the growth. So, in fact, the limited scalability of the legacy core banking systems and the legacy infrastructures limits the growth, slows the business expansion, and blocks the innovation process, which increases the risk of losing competitive advantage to more agile players in the market. And we have also the long development cycles when launching or for launching new services or for adapting to new market trends. Adding on that, we should highlight the high cost of maintaining traditional or legacy core banking systems, which is a quite big challenge for financial institutions and for banks. We have, for example, a cost that continues to rise, which is related to ongoing regulatory requirements. For example, regulatory frameworks such as IFRS 9, such as PSD2, such as Basel III, GDPR require frequent updates, which legacy core systems struggle to accommodate. So the compliance costs are increasing and require a lot of manual intervention to meet those regulatory requirements, in fact. Also, to add on that, we have the cost for the upgrades and the maintenance of the legacy systems, which are significant. So maintaining a traditional core banking system is basically estimated to be 10 times more expensive than modernizing it. We need also to consider all the hidden costs as well as the missed opportunities, since the cost of operating and administrating and maintaining a legacy core banking system is very high. As well, we have the cost of the missing important business opportunities is also very high. So those two combine together to create an extremely expensive environment to operate in. Adding on that, a very important and major challenge, which is the poor customer experience. In fact, the customers of the banks expect real-time seamless banking experiences across digital channels, but legacy core systems lack omni-channel capabilities, leading to a lot of inconsistencies between different channels, the branch, online, mobile, agents, and so on. So the customization is limited in that case, because legacy systems and infrastructures are not designed to leverage advanced technologies for customer insights, without also forgetting the security risks and the cyber threats, because legacy systems lack advanced security protocols. So the key question to ask is, how can we transform our traditional monolithic infrastructure and reposition it in a way to meet customer demands at the speed they are expecting? And this is the real challenge that banks face today.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Cyril, for these very interesting insights. And now that we understood what are the major challenges that banks face with their core banking systems, I'd like to ask George a question. Can you please explain to us what are the main drivers of change?
Elias, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be part of this webinar. In fact, what I can say, the major catalyst for banks to adopt a core banking transformation is how the bank can stay competitive, and at the same time, how to enhance the customer experience and improve operational efficiency or reduce operational costs. From my point of view, I believe it can be done through innovation. Now, under innovation fall different key trend and the driver. I'll be talking about some of these drivers. I will start by the rise of open banking. You know, open banking is a kind of framework where banks allow third-party financial service provider via what we call API to access and share customer in a secure mode. Okay, enabling innovation in financial services such as new lending services, personal finance management, and budget planning, among others. While open banking has been regulated in many countries, like PSD2 in Europe, and if I'm talking about my region, Gulf region, we have seen already an increased adoption over the last couple of years. For instance, in 2019, Central Bank of Bahrain mandate open banking adoption. In 2022, Saudi Central Bank, SAMA, introduced the open banking framework. Last year in UAE, they launched, Central Bank of UAE has launched several open banking initiatives. Same case now with Qatar Central Bank is undergoing significant development regarding the establishment of an open banking framework. Same case now they are at early stage for Kuwait and Oman. However, the challenges to consider by banks is related to different points. First of all, regulatory fragmentation, because each country is using a slight difference in open banking framework. Second challenge is readiness of the bank. As my colleague Cyril mentioned, most of the bank, they are not ready, API ready now to expose their services. Third challenge is consumer awareness, where adoption depends on how much he understands the benefit of open banking. And sure, last is about security and data privacy. Where you have to create a kind of balance between open data and cybersecurity concern. However, the other side, several opportunities to consider by banks, such, first of all, increased collaboration between banks and fintech, and improving the financial inclusion and cashless economy with easier access to new banking services, such as instant credit assessment. A lot of fintech today and the banks are offering what we call buy now, pay later, or seamless payment between banks without passing by a traditional card network, which reduce the cost. And finally, potential cross-border between open banking. The second point, that key trend that comes to my mind, is about AI. How artificial intelligence is changing the landscape of the bank and reshaping the customer experience. You know, recently, most of the banks have been working to integrate both predictive and generative AI into their business practice, and how to harness the power of AI to deliver a personalized customer experience. Let's mention some use cases. For instance, today you get 24/7 customer support via AI chatbot and digital assistant that improve service responsiveness. Other use cases that comes to my mind, the embedded of machine learning and natural language processing algorithm for ongoing AML name screening and transaction monitoring. However, in order to get really maximum profit from AI, embedded AI, banks often need to upgrade their current legacy system before fully leveraging on AI capability. Third key trend is how to shifting today more and more from on-premises to the cloud. Cloud technology has matured over the last 5-6 years, and regulator and large banks are gaining confidence about the security aspect in terms of encryption, access control, and compliance. In addition to its scalability feature, where cloud infrastructure allows the bank to handle millions of transactions in an efficient and reliable way. As of today, CBS Capital Banking Solution, we are supporting several customers who migrate to different cloud platforms, with us being the core technology partner. And finally, as my also Cyril mentioned, colleague, about the increasing amount of regulation to cope with, which is motivating banks to consider transforming themselves to become a more agile bank, where flexibility and adaptability are key points to address this ongoing challenge. Thank you.
Thank you, Georges. So now that we understand these drivers, we can then explore the major benefits that comes with implementing a modern core banking system. And for this next part, Cyril will walk us through this. So Cyril, can you please explain to us why modernizing the core system, and what are the major benefits of a modern core banking system.
Thank you, Elias. So, given all the challenges and drivers that George and myself discussed, the key to overcoming these challenges, these several challenges, is to modernize the core banking system. And in fact, a modern core banking system is a real value proposition for banks and financial institutions. Why it is a real value proposition? And because we have several reasons and several benefits. First of all, this will allow a faster time to market by accelerating the launch of new products and services with a very quick time to market and enabling quick adaptation to regulatory changes, market demands, new customer trends and expectations. Basically, a modernized core banking system will also allow the banks and the financial institutions to enhance their processes. So it allows to optimize the workflows and to automate the manual work and manual operations. So no more manual works, no more applications working in silos. Okay, everything will be streamlined and automated. Also, a modern core banking system, it allows to reduce the friction in transaction processing and the back office operations. So it will help to digitalize the processes and, as we mentioned, streamline the whole banking activity. A modern core banking system will also help the banks and the financial institutions to increase the productivity of their employees. How this will happen? Because it will provide advanced tools to better perform their daily work, their daily jobs to be done. And by enhancing collaboration and decision making with real-time insights. So they will be able to focus more on their core business and on the customers to better serve them, to better respond to their latest trends and their need without even worrying about rigid and complex processes as it was done by legacy core systems. So also a modernized core banking system allows seamless third-party integrations. It can easily integrate with fintechs, with payment gateways, with credit bureaus, and with any digital ecosystem. It ensures a smooth API connectivity for cross-platform services. So it proposes an open innovation approach. It will allow easily and in a seamless way to add any new service in a low-code, no-code approach. So a modernized core banking system will improve the customer experience, but also it will improve the user experience. It delivers an intuitive and seamless banking experience. It enhances the digital self-service options for a greater customer satisfaction. It provides a high flexibility for innovation by supporting agile product development and service customization and enabling the banks to be able, in fact, to offer personalized financial solutions and financial products. A modernized core banking system will allow the optimization of the operational cost and the optimization of and the reduction or the decrease of the operational risk by reducing the infrastructure maintenance costs and by improving the security measures to mitigate any type of risk or threat. A modern core system allows also to focus on the customer loyalty and the customer engagement. It helps the employees of the bank or the financial institutions to focus on building deeper customer relationships, and it leverages AI-driven analytics to enhance personalized engagement. So if we want to recap, basically by modernizing the core banking systems, banks and financial institutions can unlock new opportunities, can reduce operational inefficiencies, and they were able to take the customer experience to a whole next level. So banks that adopt a microservices-based architecture with API-driven connectivity are better positioned to adapt, innovate, and lead in the evolving digital banking era.
Thank you. So I think we're all learning a lot thanks to the insights you both are sharing with us so far today. And that's why for the next discussion, I'm going to ask you both if you could share your thoughts on what the future holds for core banking systems.
Well, shall I start? Okay, then I'll hand over to my colleague. In fact, Cyril, Elias, the future of core banking is evolving so quickly, driven from one side by technological advancement, lot of regulatory changes, and always shifting the customer expectation. So from my point of view, I believe the future of core banking will be as follow: digital first, cloud native, API-driven and open banking with real-time data sharing in a secured way, seamless interface with payment platform, trading platform in terms of traditional or digital assets, sustainable green bank to support innovation in clean technology, AI-powered, highly modular and composable, which lead to introduce new financial products in a swift and a quick manner. In summary, I believe banks are looking at the possibility of transitioning from a banking service provider to a marketplace where customer can find a product or a service catering to all facets of their lifestyle. Thank you.
Thank you, George. To take it over from where you just stopped, and because I want to highlight where capital banking solutions is positioned within this whole core banking modernization. Basically, capital banking solutions is at the heart of this modernization journey. We have implemented a very aggressive roadmap, which includes adopting a composable architecture based on microservices and relying on microservices and API, to gradually transitioning from a monolithic architecture to a composable architecture in multiple phases. So it is a gradual migration, a gradual transition in multiple phases for a seamless adoption. And we are dissociating core banking functionalities. Those functionalities are dissociated into autonomous and into interconnected services. And by also structuring each business module that we are proposing and offering within our platform as a package business capability, and we are enhancing the system integration and connectivity. We have implemented within our platform an orchestrator, which comes to orchestrate the whole ecosystem that we have and that we are proposing. And the idea here is to facilitate application integration along with an API platform. And this is done through our middleware and API management platform, ensuring the highest security standards throughout the transformation process. Also, we have adopted the needed security standards to safeguard transactions and the data of the customers, which is very important. And also, we make sure to maintain regulatory compliance across all modernized components. So, in fact, this is a roadmap that we have started 3 years back in 2022, and it's an ongoing one until reaching the full composable architecture. And by adopting this approach and proposing to banks a composable banking platform, capital banking solutions will be helping to build an environment where banks can focus on their core business and on their customers and be more customer centric and customer oriented and be able to increase the customer's loyalty. So, Capital Banking Solutions is offering basically a composable and modern banking platform which covers the whole banking activities and banking services front to back, going from the front end of the customers for the customers of the bank and to the middle office activities and the back office activities and the back end processes. So we are proposing a modern core system which is business oriented, customer centric, that has a modular approach and an open architecture covering all the business activities of a bank or a financial institution, from the branch operations, teller transactions, customers management, accounts management, savings, deposits, all types of payments, instant payments, checks, direct debits, all types of payments, trade finance activities and international banking services, the financing part, the lending, the loan origination, the leasing, the scoring, the financial analysis, money market services through FX, through interbank placements and borrowings, the capital markets and the financial instruments, the treasury modules, the accounting, the nostro reconciliation, the compliance, AML, transaction monitoring, customer profiling, FATCA, CRS, the e-banking, the mobile banking, the social media banking, the open banking, an API management platform, microservices catalog, open innovation, data analytics, and so on. So it's really a complete core banking platform which is designed to support the transformation journey, providing flexibility and scalability every step of the way.
You are mute, Elias.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, thank you. I was saying thank you for these very interesting pieces of information that I'm sure help us all understand a little bit more about what the future of core banking systems might look like in the future. But so now, Georges, for the last part of the discussion, I'm going to ask you, what would be your advice to drive a successful transformation to a modern core?
Well, in fact, implementing a successful core banking transformation is a complex, critical, and challenging process. Here are some key recommendations for a bank to ensure this success. First of all, the importance, as we mentioned, of choosing a platform that is open architecture and completely cloud native for a seamless integration with third-party vendor, flexibility to tailor the solution through extension of new functionality, and scalability through a continuous improvement. Talking about other factors that will impact the successful implementation. In fact, the organization culture. Transformation core bank is a long journey, and you need to able to work with a vendor to deliver. So the cultural fit of the bank with the software vendor is very critical. It can make or break the project. Our multicultural consulting team come with deep banking expertise, and that really helps because it's not just giving bank a technical framework or solution, but we provide depth knowledge in the core financial services space in terms of lending, as mentioned my colleague, microfinance, trade finance, capital market, payment, among others. The third key recommendation is the involvement of the top management. Transformation should be driven from the top. Sometimes I have seen a project being driven only by technology group, or sometimes it has been driven by business group. And sometimes there is a friction between these two groups. But having on the same time business and technology group, in addition to the management sponsorship, will lead sure to a strong project governance, smooth and successful implementation. And last, about the delivery strategy. Apart from product, technology, people, I would like to highlight the importance of delivery strategy. It might sound obvious, but most delay in implementation occur due to a gap in understanding between the bank expectation and the technology provider. As a partner in several banks' transformation journey, we do not only create a thorough detailed plan, but do detailed design thinking session with the bank to create implementation plan which focus on the state and unstated business need of the bank, and we prioritize their business impact. In summary, as a key takeaway, I believe technology and product, management sponsorship, organization culture, and delivery strategy are the main factor to consider for a smooth and successful transformation.
Perfect. Thank you. So before we end the discussion, sorry, we'd like to share with you one of our videos, the video of Capital Banker, which is a capital banking solutions core banking system. So we hope you like it. I'm going to share my screen so you can see the video. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your attention. And now, before we move on to the last part of the webinar, which will be answering your questions, I'm going to ask Georges if you could please share with us an overview of the last project CBS had over the past couple of years, please.
Okay.
You're on mute, sorry.
Sorry. In fact, as of today, we are serving more than 200 customers worldwide, scattered over 64 countries. Okay, so while I was talking about the flexibility of the product, technology background, these are very important, factor. However, we cannot deny the fact that we should not neglect remaining factor as businesses, processes, as people involved in the project. From our experience in two last Greenfield Bank, the average project life cycle is around 6 months elapsed time. Okay, assuming that the operation team is on board, the infrastructure is there. Okay, it's on the cloud, on premises. It depends of each bank, but life cycle should not exceed, because it's a greenfield bank and the product is quite. We have what we call in some region, due to our experience, we have what we call bank in a box. So we install already the solution with a predefined parameter that take into consideration the requirement of the local market. Sure, always we have to adopt it to take into consideration, local jurisdiction, regulation, and circulars that may occur during the implementation cycle. Well, remaining banks, I believe, existing bank, I leave to my colleague Cyril to elaborate more about this type of project.
Yeah, thank you, George, for the insights. In fact, and as you mentioned, we have the needed tools and accelerators for driving successful implementation and transformation projects. You mentioned about the greenfield. I will mention about other types of projects that we have handled, managed, and successfully transformed and implemented for over the past 3 years. As mentioned, we have a set of accelerators. We have a 360-degree approach within our implementation. We are proposing model banks by region. We have a team of experts, whether experts in business, in banking, and experts in technology. We have certified project managers. So those are our experts, our team that will handle the full project life cycle, starting from supporting the bank within the walkthrough, the discovery phase, the analysis, until going live. So we are ensuring the best practices while implementing our platform. So, and this is why we can see that we have been successful in our implementation projects. So over the past 3 years, also in addition to the greenfields, we've been able to support four banks that were using a legacy core system and to migrate and to transform their legacy system and migrate into our modern core banking platform. And if we want to talk about the average life cycle of such a project, so we're talking about 18 to 24 months, so 1.5 years to 2 years for such a project. In addition, we have conducted several versions upgrades for our existing database or for our existing customers using an old version of our core system. And this kind of project is very streamlined, and it can take between 9 to 12 months. Adding on that, also we have conducted projects when it comes to adding additional components on the existing core system and the existing infrastructure of 30 of the banks that are our clients. So by adding additional components depending on several business needs, like the compliance, like the loan origination, like the scoring, like the microfinancing, and so on. So, and by leveraging on all the tools, by leveraging on our modern core banking platform, which proposes a modular and composable approach, and by leveraging also on our team of experts, we are able to always support the banks during their digital transformation journey and conduct successful implementation projects.
Thank you. Thanks to both of you for explaining this to us. Now for the end of the session. So the webinar is already coming to an end. And as I said at the beginning of the session, we're taking questions all along the webinar, and we already received a few so far that we're going to try to answer, but you're still free to ask all of the questions you want in the chat box or the question box right down below. Cyril, maybe you want to start.
So there's a question: in your experience, how important is it for banks to have a clear digital transformation strategy before undertaking core system modernization? So, in fact, without a clear digital transformation strategy, core banking modernization can become fragmented, costly, and misaligned with the business goals. So we should always prioritize strategy before technology, and this will allow to accelerate the digital adoption, to enhance the customer experiences, and to future-proof operations. So banks and financial institutions should define their digital transformation roadmap first, then select the right modern core banking platform that aligns with their strategy, that aligns with their business goals, that aligns with their customer and regulatory needs.
Thank you. George, maybe you'd like to answer one as well?
Yeah, in fact, I got one question about what role does technology like AI play in the evolution of core banking system? Okay, so as we mentioned, the role of AI mainly is to enhance the customer experience and reduce the operational costs. When I talk about customer experience, we are talking, you have different cases, such about credit scoring and lending, about when you have a problem and you have to call the bank at any times. You have AI, digital assistant, chatbot. Even we can apply it mainly in risk management and fraud detection. I talk about AML, name screening. The way we segment and the response time, and also we can use it in cybersecurity and predictive analytic and decision making. So it can be implemented in different layer within the core banking system. But however, the core banking should be a open architecture where I can embed it different AI component to enhance the customer experience and at the same time to reduce the operational cost.
Thank you.
So
We still have a
maybe
few other
you,
questions.
if you allow me, Elias, George, uh, there's one question that I want to tackle. Okay. So what are some of the biggest challenges financial institutions face when modernizing their core banking systems? So I think this is a continuity of our discussion and what we have exposed at the beginning of this webinar. In fact, to successfully drive this modernization, the banks and the financial institutions basically should define a clear digital transformation strategy, as we mentioned before, adopt a phased approach, a progressive modernization. Why is that? To minimize business disruption, so a phased approach, a gradual transition, and they should leverage on advanced technologies like the microservices, like the APIs, composable architecture, the cloud. They also should ensure a strong governance, as George mentioned in one of the discussions tackled. So they should ensure strong governance. Plus, they should adapt or adopt cybersecurity frameworks and to abide by regulatory compliance. And they should invest in employee training and change management strategies to facilitate this transformation and this adoption. So the banks and the financial institutions that plan carefully, modernize incrementally, and align technology with business goals are the best positioned for a successful core banking transformation.
Okay, well, if we don't really have any other question, I think um, I think we can end the session. So thank you all for your attention. If you have any more questions, that you can think about after the session, feel free to contact Cyril or Georges, or you can also, sorry, let me go to the next slide. You can also write directly to the sales team email that you can find here. So as we said at the end of the session, probably tomorrow you will all get a replay link, so you can watch the webinar again. You can share it with people you want. And yes, so thank you all for your attention, and hope everyone has a nice day.
Thank you, Elias. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
everyone.